Welcome everyone to episode 27 of this Treasure Inside Edition, and I am joined this week by two other hosts. That's two hosts. I am joined by the management. The management, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Excited to be here.
And great, let me guess, you were in a pool last week, on the weekend.
I was drunk in a pool again. Yep.
Okay, we'll go with that again. And you don't have to be creative, that's the truth. And I'm also joined today by Pamela. Pamela, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you.
And keen listeners of this Treasure Inside Edition would know that Pamela not only is a keen treasure hunter, but has also been the source of some of our treasure hunt token hunts. So I thought, Pamela, why don't you join us from the very beginning? You're going to talk about this Treasure Inside, you're going to talk about treasure hunt token hunts. So basically, you're hosting the show tonight rather than me.
Oh my, that's a lot of pressure, Chaz.
You're probably doing much better. But, okay, so it's been a little while, and we started our Discord channel since we last had our last episode. So thank you, everyone that's joined. Management, Pamela, what have you been up to the last few weeks?
Oh boy, well, one thing I did this last week is here in Wisconsin, we have International Air Show. So I went to a night air show with fireworks and drones.
Oh, wow,
and
that's awesome.
airplanes. It was really neat. People come from all over the world to come to this air show in Oshkosh, and it was a good time.
Awesome. You know, when you were talking about that, maybe it's because we've been talking a little bit about Treasure Inside. Anything I see now, I'm starting to relate back to this Treasure Inside and whether it could be a clue. Like I'm mining everyday things for there's Treasure Inside clues. And I feel like one day I'll just end up in an institution and be looking around the whole room thinking it's tied to the Treasure Inside.
I'm with you. I don't think you're the only one. I think there's a lot of us that feel that some days.
Well, we were talking about that last time with our last guest on the show, that sometimes and often the best clues seem to come when you're not even thinking about the hunt, right? You're thinking about something else, something in normal trivia or politics or whatever it is, and you think, wait a second, that could be related to this Treasure Inside. So it seems to happen like that a little bit.
Yeah, I had a toilet thought today that all the coins would be related somehow through music. So, as one does when they're on the toilet, I was using my cell phone and looking up different tuning forks and those things you blow into that do a key and harmonicas, trying to find something with the symbols with the lines and the zero and the circles, but nothing.
I feel like a lot of the time this comes back to toilets when you're talking. When we're talking about the forest fen hunt, at least, right?
Yes, there's toilets, rings, all kinds of things.
All right, so
the home of Brown. The home of Brown.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, you two can start your own podcast. All right, so what I would like to do first is talk about treasure hunt token hunts. And now, Pamela, you're here. You're going to help me with this. Okay, so episode 26 hunt has not yet expired. So it's one of those lucky treasure hunts, lucky dip hunts where a number of people can enter, and at the very end of the time period, there's a lucky draw and one person gets the prize. That has not yet expired yet, so I can't go through that hunt. What I can go through is the episode 25 hunt submitted by the lovely Pamela. Pamela, do you remember the one you submitted?
Oh boy, I think so. I was really proud of that one. It's fun to put the different elements together and come up with a neat little digital treasure hunt.
Well, I will speak of it on your behalf. So it was a very nice cartoonish type drawing. I can't believe, even knowing AI, that AI can put it together. It looked very nice. And there was a piano and there was a fox playing the piano. Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very cute. Yes.
And when you go to pianofox.com and scroll down there, you'll see a light bulb somewhere on the page there, and it will say right next to it, Pamela, do the honors. What was the solution?
Critical thinking?
Oh, very, very good. That was a great hunt. I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed doing that one. So thank you for putting that together and contributing to the treasure hunt token community.
Absolutely. And you know what, Chaz? I don't know why everybody doesn't get some treasure hunt token and join on in because these are so much fun.
And you were not paid to say that, correct?
I was not. And just flex those treasure hunt muscles, get some treasure hunt token. We're a movement here. We got to get this going. So I hope everybody participates. And that's why I wanted to help out because it's a fun thing to do. So,
Awesome. Yes.
yeah.
And Pamela bought some treasure hunt tokens, got access to the higher level hunts. So she's not doing the hunts that she's been making, but has
No,
been doing plenty of other hunts as well. Okay,
but
so
you gave me a good idea, Chaz. I didn't even think about doing that. Just kidding.
okay, so Pamela, the big stuff now. You are a treasure hunter and a hunter of there's treasure inside edition, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so when did you get the book?
I got the book in December.
Okay, so pretty soon
Uh,
after it was launched.
Pretty soon after it was launched. And actually, this podcast was one of the first ones I listened to after I got the book.
Yes.
hmm
Right, okay. So how did you find us? You just Googled on podcasts of there's treasure inside?
I did. I got the book and I was so excited, and it pulled me in right away. And after I decided I wanted to pursue looking into the different treasure hunts, I needed some more information. So I looked for podcasts regarding there's treasure inside, and this one came up.
Awesome. Okay. So have you done treasure hunts before you got this book?
No, never. I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy it, and I was happy to have a hobby that is just so intense but fun and lots of interesting, great people that I've been meeting doing this. So this is new for me.
Now, you mentioned before we started recording that you have a boyfriend. You're going to be starting a podcast of your own, which we'll get into in a second. But I wanted to
Yes.
know, how did he take this? That his girlfriend, who was completely normal before December, started looking for buried treasure or hidden treasure across the US.
I haven't brought him on the treasure hunting side yet, but he's been a good sport.
Oh, so he
So
knows about it. It's not like you're having a flashlight at night reading the book. He knows about the treasure hunting issue, right?
well, I would say yes, I have had a flashlight at night in the dark. And yes, he does know about the treasure hunt.
But didn't he think it was a little strange that you were doing this?
Oh, absolutely. He still thinks it's strange.
Is it one of the things he doesn't tell people? Like he keeps it on the down low a little bit?
You know what? No, he supports it. And I think as long as I keep supporting his golf habit, he'll keep supporting my treasure hunting habit.
Right, which is just
So,
as strange. But
hmm
so, but it's one of those things where we've said before, down with normies. We're proud to be abnormal,
hmm
looking for treasures. But that's very interesting, and I'm very glad that something like this introduced people to a hobby like this. We've said before many times in this show, it's very wholesome and it's just good fun, and it's good that people got this book and got exposed to having fun in this way, I think. So it's great that you've come along.
Thank you. Yes, I believe it's great. And I agree with you. It's provided a lot of enjoyment and a lot of fun.
Okay, so the question I ask a lot of people, you read through the whole book, I'm assuming, and you had to make a choice of which one did you want to look for first. So, which one did you start to look for first, and how did you make that decision?
I started looking and researching the Pokemon box first. And how I came to that decision was I liked the style of the chapter. I knew I wasn't going to be the type to really be able to solve a lot of cryptograms by myself or
Yeah.
anagrams and things like that. Although I do enjoy doing that, I've since discovered. But the style of it and kind of the whimsical nature of the chapter, I really enjoyed. And so that is the one that I dived into first.
You're very kind to say the whimsical chapter because we've named the Forest Fen box the revenge hunt because he didn't find Forest Fens. I think I call the Pokemon box chapter Pokemon, the old Pokemon. The
Yeah.
Pokemon box chapter, the JCB does a doobie hunt. He smoked up a joint and started writing that chapter because it's very strange. I don't understand any of what he's saying, so I've not attempted to understand it.
And it definitely makes me go cross-eyed. Like the image in it, like it's supposed to be all 3D-ish and weird, and then there's the whole story, and I've said it before, I feel like I'm having a bad trip.
Yeah.
I know a lot more about Pokemon than I ever wanted to. I mean, I've even looked up the Pokédex, which I didn't know what a Pokédex was before. I've looked up every Pokédex number for every single Pokemon in the chapter and added all the numbers referenced in the chapter to get totals and then tried to make them into GPS coordinates. That's just one of the ways I've approached this chapter.
Oh wow. I still don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, we don't need to. Good news is it doesn't sound like you stuck your whole time with the Pokemon book.
No,
You moved on to others, right?
that is correct.
Okay,
Yes.
so what is your main focus right now?
My main focus right now is the Forest Fen box.
The Revenge box.
Yes, the revenge box. I've looked a
It's
little
the
bit into.
grudge.
Sorry, you're
Oh,
right. The Grudge. I forgot.
oh, the grudge box. Yes,
Yes.
I've looked into the AT box quite a bit, but I know the management has claimed that
Yeah,
box,
stay
so I
away.
don't. I'm not going to encroach on her territory.
Okay.
But the Forest Fen box, I is the one I'm going to go boots on the ground with. It was going to be this summer. Now it's going to be in the fall, but looking forward to that. But I've also been looking more at the lion's share as well after reading the book a couple times and highlighting all of it. And I have a humongous spreadsheet just categorizing different phrases, words, locations. I've got a different page for proper names, locations, a different page for meaningful quotes or sentences, and we've got all kinds of different spreadsheets with that one as well.
So your strategy was try some of the easier, smaller boxes, and if you can't find them, go for a harder one. Right?
You've got it. That's my
Okay.
strategy.
Okay. Well, I like it. It's inventive. It's a
Yeah.
nice strategy. But so how have you been doing with that? It's what we call armchair hunting, I guess. Looking through the clues, looking through the books. Did you have any aha moments that lit up your brain where you thought, I've just saw something no one else has seen?
I've had a couple of those, yes. And it's really exciting when you pull a couple pieces together. And one of the reasons why I keep diving back into the Lion's Share box is because there's so many different ways to interpret the book, right? So you read it through once just to get the foundation. You read it through again and you make note of some interesting things that pique your interest. And now I'm reading through it again with the idea that what's the overarching, and I'll get to arching in a minute,
Oh,
but what's the overarching, way I'm supposed to take this
yes.
information?
Right.
So, one of the aha moments to finally get to your question, one of my aha moments was trying to piece together the Olympics and all of the different references to, well, obviously there's gold referenced a lot, but we talk about rings in the book, or I should say, John Collins Black talks about ancient gold rings, and
Yes.
he mentions the crowns of cavemen. And when you look at Joy's Serenade, we know that he says, an X leads the way, or simply follow shimmering circles of gold. Well, circles of gold, we've been talking about that the whole book.
Right.
So,
Yeah, when you say we've been talking about it the whole book, do you mean specifically gold he's talking about or the Olympics in particular?
that's a good question. In my mind, I'm thinking both. So you've got the circles in the Olympic symbol and the circles represented by the gold medal in the treasure
Yes.
and the circles of gold as in the gold nuggets and other coins that he references in the book.
Yes. So you think that the Olympics, and now that I think about it, it has been referenced a few times. And I know I even mentioned gold in the past and future box last week, but you're right. I hadn't really thought about how many times he mentions gold throughout the book.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had a few aha moments. Aren't you a little worried that you're not going hunting till the fall? That are your feet itching, thinking that someone else is going to find it, and you want to get out there and find it first?
Oh, absolutely. My life is crazy right now, but I wish I could be boots on the ground every weekend. I would be if I could. Have to coordinate some schedules, and there's that pesky thing called a job I have to deal with every once in a while. So I would love to be out there right now every day if I could. It's the perfect weather.
Well, do you want to run through some of the things that you found in the Lion's Share chapter that you're comfortable with sharing with our audience?
Oh, sure. I'd love to. Couple tie-ins here, right? So we talked about the circles of gold, enjoy Serenade, and following the shimmering circles of gold. There's a couple references to the World's Fair, I would say, more than one for sure. I know one of them's on page 59.
Okay.
He talks about the Olympics a lot, right? So he has the Greek mythology and the Roman mythology.
I just
Yeah,
realized, so yes, I went on and on about Greek mythology. The Olympics come from Greek mythology, right?
right,
Okay,
right.
now we're cooking. Our
Yeah,
theories are converging. Okay, keep going.
yeah. So if you take a step back and you think about some of the overarching themes of the book, it's heroism, it's overcoming obstacles, it's heroes in a sense with Greek mythology or Roman mythology. But in all the cases, people are just overcoming obstacles and achieving something great, achieving something important. Another theme that's in the book is he talks about arcs and arches. And I don't think an arc is the same as an arch. And I think people have even debated this in some of the forums or on Discord. But we've got the butterfly. We've got potentially a butterfly theme, which that's not my idea. I've heard others talk about that, but butterflies are potentially mentioned in the book and monarchs. And so this is going to be my own personal are you buying or selling? If you
Okay.
guys are ready, buying
You're a
it or
keen
selling
listener
it.
of the
Okay.
show. All right, let's go.
So, one butterfly is a monarch, right?
Yes.
And in Joy's Serenade, there's a reference to an arc.
Hmm.
Well, where do we have an arc in the United States? Or an arch,
I would.
if you're
St.
not using the
Louis.
There we
St.
go.
Louis. That's right.
Also, one of my favorite places there is City Museum if you go to St. Louis. So just side note. Continue, Pamela.
Ooh, yes, good suggestion there. So St. Louis is in what state?
Missouri.
Missouri. And what is
Nailed it.
the what is the abbreviation of Missouri?
MO. What's your MO? Okay, keep going.
That's right. MO, Missouri, N, North, Arch, ARCH,
Oh.
spells monarch.
Oh, okay. Monarch. Okay, keep going.
You got Missouri North Arch. There you go.
Missouri North Arch Monarch butterfly. And so there
But
is as
we
yes.
know that the I'm sorry to interrupt. We know the World's Fair and the Olympics took place in St. Louis in the early 1900s. I believe it was 1913, but don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. So, there's a couple things that I can't tie to St. Louis, but I think it's a fun thought experiment. What are other things from the book potentially that could be tied to St. Louis?
And the monarch butterfly, the one that I know a reference to is, and I'm going to jump in here on the Appalachian Trail box, is I've seen that on the Appalachian Trail, the
Oh,
monarch butterfly, right? Is it referenced
that's right.
anywhere else in the book?
I haven't found it yet,
Okay.
if it is.
I'm going to do a
So,
quick search to see if it is, but you guys are encroaching on my territory. No, there's actually a lot of debate on what type of butterfly that is because there's actually like little squigglies at the bottom, which would signify that it's a swallowtail species. Don't don't quote me on that, but it's a swallowtail versus a monarch. But then it's also like, do we really need to be that detailed about it? Can it just be a butterfly? Because again, do we really have to narrow it down to a specific species to understand that clue?
Well, apparently we do, because it's talking about the Missouri Arch, and now we know for sure.
And now we know.
It's kind of a silly conclusion, I know, but it's fun to think about how the Arch and the World's Fair and the Olympics all can tie into one place. Uh,
Well, I like, and it's a starter pack, I think, for a theory to reference some of our previous
hmm
segments that I can imagine when this all comes out and we say, John Collins Black, what was with these clues? And he'll say, look, really, what I was trying to get at with the book was X, and it's going to be just a sentence. It's about blah, right? And I can imagine it being
Yes.
something like, it's about people overcoming obstacles, and scattered throughout the book is examples of this, and all the clues tied together. So, people are overcoming obstacles in their life, and tying in with that heroes and Greek mythology. I could see it all being tied together as a central theme.
hmm Definitely. And I haven't even researched what the arch represents yet. So more to come on that.
It's a
But
profound.
that's my most recent path I've been starting on.
So, Pamela, so if you're talking about the Olympics, the world fairs, people overcoming obstacles, like how do you think this could be all tied together?
I think there's definitely a theme of historically significant events or places, monuments.
Yes.
There's definitely something there
And
where areas of significance and meaningful places I feel are going to tie into the solve.
and specifically American, right? Like a lot of these things you're talking about, the Olympics, at least in the LA, it's an international event, right? But there was ones in LA, there was the World Fair in St. Louis. These are specifically American events, and maybe it's like a showcase of American history in the book.
Well, that's a great suggestion. And the Native American context is so important to that American history too, that it really seems like that could be an approach or a theme because we want to make sure that all the historically important and significant contributions to our American history, if we're going with that theme, that would make sense.
That's right. Now,
So I've had a continuous theory that there is a Native American flavor to the entire book. But I just Googled the St. Louis Gateway Arch and what it represents, and Google AI said represents the westward expansion of the United States, and it is symbolizes the American pioneer spirit and role as the gateway to the West. So that whole movement from east to west that led to the gold rush. So we may be on to something.
I like that. Yes, that definitely ties in.
so Joy Serenade. I said on the program about a week or two ago that everyone pretty much has no idea what the hell it's doing there at the end of the book. It's just this random poem. We don't even know if it's connected to the smaller boxes, the bigger boxes. Do you have any theory as to what the hell this poem is and what it's for? And if so, you may be the only person in the country that does.
One of the things that I have done when I wasn't able to read, so traveling to work or other things, listen to a lot of podcasts and interviews with JCB. And he's mentioned in interviews or in an interview that that is a significant part of the book. There are clues in it. And I think he said that it's more for the lion's share because he's pointed out that the four smaller box chapters the clues are contained primarily in those chapters. So I think
Mhm.
what he's saying there is Joy's Serenade is about the lion's share, and it is important to pay attention. Now, there's a few things. One of them I mentioned already with the shimmering circles of gold. There's also that music theme, and I will say St. Louis, I believe, is known for blues, but there's also comments about you'll see the stanza where the pike are all around,
Yes.
and in the previous on the previous page from Joy's Serenade, he just has one or two sentences. He says, "Hey, why don't you read about the story Andvari's ring?" And it's a Viking myth or legend. And so there's something there too. He's tying, again, there's a ring, right? So another ring
Hmm.
and another myth or another legend, another tale about something that is a little fictional, right? Um, but he's saying the pike are rather all around. So he's saying, in my opinion, hey, you need to pay attention to this Viking myth and Vari's ring and see if that helps you understand the clues in the book a little bit. So I think there's something to look at there as well.
On the page before in the book. Okay. Oh, so was this the extra treasures section?
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
that doesn't get talked about very often, but
No.
there's some things in there, right? And on page 236, it's the last paragraph, and he says, on a side note, one of my favorite childhood books, J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, was inspired by the Viking myth of Andvari's ring. It's an interesting tale if you have the time to read it.
That's a very good point. I pretty much skipped over that whole section.
Yeah,
As
yeah, I
re
think a
Yeah,
lot of us did.
I think it's pretty heavily disregarded. And now that we're talking about it, it's like, duh, why would you put that extra chapter at the end with all of these pieces in it, if not to say, I have to get these clues in here somehow. So I'm just going to throw them in at the end.
That's a
Yeah,
great point.
yeah, because I thought he ran out of time to think of how he could tell stories about those particular treasures. But to your point, management, it might have been that there's particular clues associated with those treasures that he had to get in there. So we kind of just threw them all in at the end and then threw a poem in as well.
Right.
Okay, so
Just chuck a treasure here, chuck a treasure there, whatever you want to do.
okay, so look, we've covered a lot of ground tonight. I think we probably need to leave it there. We went through Lion's Share, we went through Joy Serenade, we went through Extra Treasures, which is now called the Pamela chapter, because no one
I
was
like
talking
it.
about it before you talked about it. Before we leave, though, we need a code for this week's treasure hunt token hunt. So, Pamela, do you want to do the honors and give us a code for this week?
Oh, I would love to. I think it should be Pamela
Sure, we could do that.
because I'm obviously modest.
That's right. We could do Pamela. Just Pamela. I
I
think we
feel
might.
like we've done Pamela
Oh,
before.
you did?
No, your name was in there, but it wasn't just Pamela. It was like
Okay.
be like Pamela, I think we said. So this time
Yes.
it would just be Pamela, okay?
All right.
Pamela. Okay. Well, Pamela, thank you for joining us tonight. Thanks very much for coming on. Again, thank you for putting together these hunts for Treasure Hunt Token. And we'd love to have you on again sometime to talk about your boots on the ground experience, if nothing else.
Oh, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me. It's just been an absolute blast, and I hope I can come on again. And hopefully, everybody can stand my Wisconsin accent when they're listening to the pod. So, thank you.
I hadn't even noticed it.
They have to get through mine first. They do with
Yeah,
the
but you have a
Wisconsin.
cool accent. Mine's just
We'll
a
see.
Midwest accent.
We'll see if people can understand me. I have to kind of work on that a little bit. But management, I hope you have a good week. Let me know if you find a box and we'll start a show up very quickly. Have you got any boots on the ground plans coming up?
So it's August now, so I have to keep in mind that everywhere is not on fire like Florida is right now. So it's actually going to start cooling off in the next couple of months in the North Carolina area. So I would love to go back boots on the ground and go up to North Carolina to the Asheville area and look
Mhm.
at some places. I do need to start narrowing down where those places would be. So stay tuned more on that.
So, thank you, Pamela. Thank you, management, and we'll speak to you all very soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.